Hey, I know the holiday season is over, but there's still some, I'll say some turkey in my body, and I don't feel like doing much effort, and I'm sure you're in the same situation too. This is why I'm going to introduce to you the lazy build. Maybe you just want to relax, not too much. You want to play the game, you don't want to play the game, right? You just want to have a good time without investing much effort. Well, this is for you, and if you wouldn't mind dropping a like and subscribe, it will help evacuate the tiredness out of my body. With that said, let's actually get into the build. So, for our chest armor, we'll be using the spiritual shoulder straps, and I haven't been using that one because I'm uncomfortable with seeing Krill's titties. I don't know, it just makes him less threatening for some reason, but I'm good now. So what exactly does it do? It grants you the Arcane Strength buff, which stacks up to 3 times, and with each stack you get 50% more damage for your melee and ranged attacks, which is kinda good. And when it comes to the wrist and waist armor, because I'm looking for more strength, I'm going to use Vidar's set, but you can go with whatever works for you. The important part of this of this build is the titties. Not the titties, the chest armor. So I personally prefer having more strength because I haven't seen any useful race and with armor will actually go toward making this build more damaging. But again, you can go with whatever works for you. It's fine. When it comes to our enchantment, we will benefit from the Asgard enchantment set, and because Flame Whiplash is going to be the central piece of our build, we want to utilize everything we can to make it more powerful, which implies making our cooldown mighty fine because Flame Whiplash uses triangle, and every single attack using triangle is going to be empowered by that enchantment set. There you go. And then just put some things here and there to increase my cooldown and strength as I see fit. Again, the most important thing is just the Asgard enchantment set, and then you can increase whatever you think comfortable increasing, whether it's strength or cooldown. But you want to create some kind of balance, because if you don't, it's not going to be you're not going to feel the power. And trust me, power there is a lot of power, sometimes even too much power. As for Freya, always use the sigil arrows. I think the only instances where we actually use stunning arrows is when we're running the stun build. Other than that, I don't see much value. And again, poison, always your best friend. And when it comes to the grip for the axe, because we won't be using the axe at all, use the Furious Maul to benefit from that 63 strength, which is going to be again relevant. The Runic attacks you decide to use, again, it's up to you. You do whatever you feel comfortable. You use whatever you feel comfortable using. But the pommel for the blades are very important. The Luminous recovery handles, because every single time we perform Flame Whiplash, we're going to get a blessing of cooldown, reducing the cooldown for our Relic and Runic attacks. Great, because you're going to see how great that is. And when it comes to the Hind for Dropnir, the mighty Olympic Sauroter. What is that name? We're just going to use that one hand because cooldown and cooldown alone. We won't be using the spear either. So when it comes to the shield, we're going to use, oh come on man, come on, of course I'm going to use the Dauntless. And great, because the Dauntless is the only shield which comes with cooldown, so even better. Again, the cooldown is very important if you want to benefit from the Asgard enchantment set. So Dauntless it is, and for the round, we're going to use the Rönd of Expedition because it gives us some cooldown, and every single time we parry or interrupt those blue rings attacks, we're going to get a blessing of cooldown again, reducing the cooldown for our weapons and attacks even further. When it comes to the rage, I always use Wrath. I don't know why, but I know why, it's the best. And when it comes to the Relic, if you want to deal a ridiculous amount of damage really fast, so fast that you won't even see the enemy, you want to use the Talisman of Meign, because that thing lasts 10 seconds and that's all you're going to need, 10 seconds. But because some bosses, I think this Talisman is great. This Talisman is great if you dealing against some bosses which don't move a lot. But in case you are dealing with Gna or the King Kraki, oh my god, those guys just keep moving and moving, so I strongly advise using the Hilt of Skofnung because it's going to pin them down, allowing you to splash them with your blades. So yeah, either use the Hilt of Skofnung or use the Talisman of Meign. Personally, I prefer use the Talisman because it is so ridiculous the amount of damage. And in case you want to get a look at my skills, those are my skills. You shouldn't care about anything other than my blades because again, we won't be using anything but the blades, except when we're using other attacks like for like our runic attacks. So first of all, I don't like it when people say that this build is going to delete health bars and then it doesn't and you end up struggling. So when I tell you that this build deletes health bars, I mean it, and you're going to see it. And that's why I called it the lazy build. It deletes those health bars so fast that you won't even see the enemy. I'm not talking about regular enemies, I'm talking about bosses with health bars. They're just gone. gone. Trust me, they're gone. So, like I said before, Flame Whiplash is the highlight of this build, and we're going to use it all the way to benefit from the cooldown and the increased damage and arcane strength. So to actually activate arcane strength is the same way as the Seal of Runic Storm, the Bifrost Storm. You want to use either your Relic attack if you actually deals some hits to enemies, or you want to use your Runic attacks. So just like you were using the Bifrost Storm, just activate it. It's going to stack for 17 seconds, and I love it. 17 seconds while your damage is increased by 45%. 45%. So I think the Talisman of Meign I actually gives you a 30 or 40% buff when it comes to your damage, to your strength. So imagine 45% and then 30% or 40%. It is so fast. I'm not gonna like, you can see it on the screen. It is so fast that the enemies are gone before even spawning. Like that guy, you know how I was mad about that health guy, that like health load running around like a rabbit and pooping those light balls? Well, I don't get to see him anymore because he doesn't spawn. He's dead upon arrival. That's actually a build which deletes health bar, right? Like, this is not clickbait. No, you came, you saw, and you subscribed. Yeah, this build is amazing. And to be honest, if you forget about the broken, overpowered Berserker set, this is actually the strongest combo you can get in the game. Stronger than the poison build, stronger than the realm shift build, stronger than the luck build. It is in a league of its own, just like the Berserker set, which is crazy. And guess what? It is just as lazy. All you have to do is just press triangle. Oh my god. And if you're wondering how viable that thing is going to be against Gna, well, wonder normal, because oh, she felt it. Oh, she felt the laziness, and that was damaging. Jesus. Woo. yeah, that thing is really good. And I think that the only problem when it comes to Gna or the King is the fact that they move around too much for you to pin them down and, you know, hit them. That's why I actually advise using the Hilt of Skofnung to create that moment where they're actually staggered, and then you can punish them. Also use the Seal of Runic Storm when you go into the fight. Just tweak some little enchantment sets just to get enough cooldown to benefit from the from having 170. I think that's the thing. 170 in Runic is going to allow you to get the buff, the Seal of Runic Storm buff, and then you can even get more damage because of the Bifrost. But yeah, this build is actually the strongest one if you forget about that other broken one. And I think I'm happy. I'm okay with it. So we actually have an alternative when it comes to not having the. I think you can actually get that armor set early on, the moment you actually get into Vanaheim, if memory serves me right. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's where you get it. And I'm like, ooh, that's quite early. That's quite early. Flame Whiplash is actually the strongest skill in the game. Like, it's not even close. And to see that you can actually get so much done with it, I like it. So, how would you rate the lazy build? I mean, how lazy do you think it is where you don't even see the enemies? I think it's good. I think it's really good. So, I'm Jisoo. I'm going to remain lazy. I hope you actually have a good time with this build. Just relax in your couch, spread your legs, and just stop weeping. Hey, bye bye.